paper. There's a few things to talk about with paper. The first thing I want to say is that I think paper is the most important thing to make a nice watercolor painting. It's good to have nice brushes, it's important to have some good paints, but I think if you're going to splurge on anything, I would splurge on nice paper. So paper comes in different textures and different weights. The different textures are hot press, cold press, and rough. Hot press is very, very smooth. There's almost no texture to it at all. I tend to only paint on cold press or rough. I like the texture. It might be my background as an oil painter, but I like having something for the paint to grip onto. It also can cause some nice effects with the watercolor, and we can go over those later. So the other thing I want to talk about is the weight of the paper. So watercolor paper comes in a variety of weights, which means the heaviness, the thickness of the paper, 90 pound, 140 pound, 300 pound. I tend to only paint on 140 or 300 pound, and that's a thicker paper. 90 or less, I think it just tends to buckle, and that doesn't have quite as a nice finish as the thicker paper. So you can also buy paper in pads. So this is an Arches pad of rough paper, 140 pounds. A pad is nice because it has a nice sturdy back and many pieces of paper. So when you finish one, you just take it off and you're ready to go with another piece of paper. They come in a variety of sizes. This is also Arches watercolor. This is a cold press, also 140 pounds. Great to have. The only problem is that I tend to paint on 300 pound, and 300 pound does not come in a pad. So I buy my 300 pound paper in a large sheet and then I cut or rip it. So here's a piece of 300 pound rough that I have ripped. You see the nice deckled edge. I've ripped to the size that I want. And even though this is nice and thick, it still needs to be attached to something because unlike the pads, there's no board here to support it. So I use an old foam core board, a piece of masonite, a piece of wood, even a really thick cardboard might work to attach your painting. And I use artist tape. Masking tape would work fine. What you do not want to use is painter's tape, that blue or green tape that you use when you're painting a room. That's going to be really distracting for your final image.